Today, I want to talk about different hackathon models. Most likely, if you think about a hackathon, you imagine a very basic process, like you gather a bunch of teams that compete with each other, you start the process, the teams work on their solutions, and then is the end when the jury reviews solutions and makes a final decision on who wins the competition. Well, I've been involved in collaborative competitions for years. That's why the hackathons that we conduct at our company Disruptive are kind of different from this type of a hackathon that I have just described. For us, it's really important to incorporate collaboration between the teams in this standard model because we know how much collaboration can bring and how it can help enhance different teams' solutions. Competition is great. I love competition because it makes us feel this adrenaline, it makes us go further, go beyond. But adding collaboration is just it's just this cherry on the pie. Collaboration is the key to absolutely exceptional solutions and ideas. Combining notions of people coming from absolutely different backgrounds and having different experiences and visions and ways of thinking. This is just something else. And then every company and every challenge is quite different. So I believe that there is no one single framework of the process for hackathons that would work for everyone. That's why we have kind of 4 of them, and we can modify them, of course, and we do it, of course, for every new challenge that we have. And yeah, so I just want to talk about them. I want to show the difference between these models, when it's better to use each, for which challenges, which results you can get with each model. So yeah, maybe it's going to be useful for you too. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Lizzie and I've been working for years on organizing collaborative university competitions for world well-known companies to solve their extreme innovation challenges. And now I continue my journey with the goal to foster innovation by helping different parties of the innovation process collaborate and co-create. On this channel, I explore collaboration projects for innovation management, share my experience in managing these projects and processes, and uncover strategies for making collaboration efforts more efficient. And I want to start this video with the simplest model of the hackathon, which is 24-hour ideation. It's very clear from the name how long it takes us to conduct a hackathon like this. Basically, we take 1 day, and it's a perfect model for quick events, the main goal of which is to gather a lot of novel ideas without focusing on delivering testable prototypes. It can be conducted both offline and online. It can be internal, involving your own team only. It can be external, involving only outside parties, or it can also be hybrid. And we started the process itself. I will not be talking about preparation today, with the client's presentation about the challenge and goals of the hackathon. Then our team explains the process and participants share their initial ideas that they bring to the hackathon. Yes, we expect our teams to prepare their ideas before the official start. And of course, the very first meeting is the right time for everyone to ask their questions and get answers to these questions. Now, right after the introduction and a short break, we dive into a curated brainstorming session where we help participants to come up with new solutions by asking carefully prepared and tailored questions that our team has come up with and elicit suggestions for enhancing initial ideas, other solutions, combinations of these ideas, of these solutions, etc. And after the brainstorming session, teams take all these new insights from it and go working with their teammates to finalize ideas and to prepare them in the required format for the final presentation. For 24 hours and with final presentations from the teams, voting for the best ideas, the jury making the ultimate decision about who wins the hackathon, and yes, the client identifying the next steps. This model is very flexible. It can be used for many different challenges, pretty much any type of challenge, including scientific and business ones that either require no prototype or a prototype that can be delivered just within a few hours. and it requires the least amount of preparation from all sides, and it can provide really outstanding ideas to use in the future. And yes, you will not get a prototype with this model. Maybe we can get something in design or like marketing challenges, but this is not really what we need. High-level ideas, high-level strategies are what we should expect. We can get something even for quite complex challenges. So this hackathon is about ideas. That's why we're talking about ideation here. It's really short, but yeah, we can get something really great out of it. And I do believe that such a hackathon might actually be a first step in a big collaborative project. The next model is a 5 days deep dive hackathon, which we use mostly for complex scientific technological challenges that require more substantial research. As a result, you got detailed, evaluated ideas, strategies, which might include information on current patterns, step-by-step processes, descriptions, etc. So everything ready for further research and development in the lab. And it takes 5 days or the whole work week to complete it. And yes, some of you might be surprised, like we spent 5 days and we don't even have a prototype at the end. And yeah, well, not for every challenge it is possible to get a prototype within 5 days. And of course, scientific, again, technological challenges, they fall into this category. It's quite difficult to get a new material or a new molecule within 5 days. So yeah, when it comes to challenges, we can talk about, for example, developing ideas on new materials, new molecules, recycling methods, etc. And like even some business problems like developing a new business model, they could go here as well. We can solve with this type of hackathon as well. Because such topics, they need time to be carefully thought through. But as the outcome of such process, we might expect well-designed solutions on paper that might be brought to the first phases of development. The hackathon starts the same way as other models suggest. The introductory part with presentations about the process, the challenge, and initial suggestions from participants. And similarly, the next session is dedicated to curated brainstorming, where the goal is to come up with more novel ideas. And yes, after that, there is a voting session where we choose the best ideas that will go to the second round, and they will be researched thoroughly. One of the reasons is that for this model, we expect teams to bring more than one initial idea, and of course to get even more during the brainstorming. However, as our goal is to get the best potential solutions ready for development, we can take all these ideas and we have to choose the best of the best. The second day and the second round of the hackathon starts with the teams improving and refining their solutions to meet the requirements of the client internally within their teams. So no co-creation on this day. On the third day, we gather again to brainstorm and to focus on weaknesses of the proposed solutions, where with our support and coaching, the teams and the client come up with solutions to overcome the identified weaknesses. We see how important this brainstorming session is. Despite the fact that hackathons, again, are mostly about competition, we emphasize collaboration here because some teams might have ideas on how to overcome flaws that other teams' ideas have, and we bring collective wisdom in order to get the best of all minds that we have access to. And trust me, it's just amazing how people from all these different areas come up with new concepts. It's just beautiful to watch. And during the next fourth day, the teams have time to add ideas from brainstorming to their solutions before finalizing them and preparing their final presentations. And the final part is always the same, pretty much the same. teams present final ideas, we have a vote which everyone takes part in, like everyone, all the teams, not only decision makers, and the client's jury makes a final decision on the winning solutions and the next steps. Now, we use the next model that I'm going to describe mostly for software, marketing, design challenges that allow creating a prototype relatively quickly. We call it Simple Hackathon with Prototyping, and it takes 3 days to conduct it. This is a good choice for any challenge where you can expect getting a prototype within the limited time of the hackathon. The prototype will inevitably be a simple one that would most likely require some improvements, but it's quick, creative, and testable, exactly what many companies need to start with. And the flow looks like this. We begin with the introductory part where teams do not present their solutions. Yes, here we go straight to the teamwork after the challenge was introduced officially. Participants start their journey by working on their solutions. Usually they already have initial ideas, so they can get straight to prototyping. On the second day of the hackathon, teams present their solutions. We conduct a Q&A session, we have a vote, and we gather feedback about the potential solutions presented by each team. And everyone participates in Q&A, and everyone can vote and leave their feedback. And we encourage participants to do that because we need many opinions, not only the ones from the decision-making team. The next step on the same day is to have a brainstorming session to help teams overcome the weaknesses of their solutions, solve problems that teams might have, strengthen concepts, and of course, find new combinations of ideas. It's great to see that some teams, they can find synergy and create something together, or at least share information or pieces of their solutions with each other. And after brainstorming, as always, participants have a chance to use feedback received to improve their solutions and finalize prototypes with their teams. And they have time on the second and the third days to do that. And yeah, then is the last part, and the last part includes final presentations, voting, making a decision about winning solutions, and announcing the next steps. I have a video case study of such a hackathon, so you can watch it here. And yeah, I was talking about the example of the software product company that conducted such an event. Now, the final model that I want to introduce is enhanced hackathon with prototyping that usually takes 5 days to be conducted. We use it in case of software marketing design challenges that allow creating a prototype when we want to get a well thought out complex prototype of a solution, like alpha or beta version, so something more advanced than just a simple prototype. This is another model for challenges where prototypes are the expected outcome. It's just that with this one, we can tackle more complex challenges and get more sophisticated solutions. And the process itself is very similar to the 5 days deep dive model that I described before. So we have the introduction with teams introducing their initial ideas. Then we have a curated brainstorming session to come up with more ideas and combine the ones presented. Then we have voting and choosing the best ideas for prototyping. A second round starts with teams working on this prototype, another brainstorming session to help participants overcome problems with their solutions. Then teams finalize their prototypes, and then we have final presentations, voting, choosing the winners, and defining the next steps all over again. Like, I believe that, the last step is always the same. And with this model, teams have enough time for teamwork and collaboration, both of which are especially important when you need to develop a prototype. Participants, they get a chance to transform their ideas, improve them, identify new ones with the first brainstorming session, and then they are able to gather early feedback and improve their solutions throughout the whole process. Now, of course, the descriptions of these frameworks are just a general introduction to the workflows that we follow as starting point for us as facilitators. A lot depends on the challenge, its difficulty, the goals of the client, and it's not always about solving the problem. Then we should consider participants, we should consider budget, timing, etc. We take all this into account when we discuss the project with the client, and we work with them to devise the specifically tailored model that best suits their needs. And what can usually be adjusted? We can work with the timing, of course. We can also use certain models for other types of challenges. And yes, the parts of the process might be different. For example, sometimes we need to introduce initial solutions at the beginning and sometimes not. We sometimes need to add testing of solutions. This should also be thought through if you want to do that. And yeah, there might be changes to sessions. The content of each session, like questions that we're gonna ask, and like all these things about brainstorming, of course, it is specifically devised for each hackathon that we conduct. So yeah, that was quite a brief video, and I really just wanted to describe how we work and what we do. Maybe it will inspire you for your own process. And if you have any questions about hackathons or collaboration in general for scientific, technological, business challenges, software challenges, please let me know in the comment section below or just text me on LinkedIn. I will be happy to chat with you. I'm always happy to have conversations about those things, about innovation, about collaboration. So yeah, just drop me a message and we'll connect. And I wish you good luck with any collaboration, co-creation process that you have, or any innovation process at all. And yeah, I hope to see you with the next video, and I wish you a good one. Bye!